Hey guys, Buffin Gaming here, back bringing you that video for our favorite weapon series for our tactical weapons. And now that the DMR Type 63 and the Diamati's and the MAC-10 Blueprint have finally been nerfed, we're going to go through some more tactical weapons that are actually going to be viable in Warzone. Now that the meta is kind of very diverse right now, a lot of people get a chance to actually play with the Cold War weapons. Now that the DMR and all these other ones are finally nerfed and you're not going to get one tap. So let's go ahead, jump in, and take a look at these tactical weapon builds here that you can use halfway through Season 1 of Black Ops Cold War integration with Warzone and see how they work. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. So let's go ahead, first off, and we'll start with our Groza 1. We'll go out to our loadout. So we have the Groza 1 to start. So the Groza 1, if we go ahead and strip this thing down to base, for Warzone, we're really going to want the GRU suppressor. Is the sound suppression keep you off the minimap? Obviously, it works the same as the monolithic suppressor. We also get the increased damage at range. The cons here are going to be the ADS speed and the aim walking steadiness. So we'll go ahead and select that. Now for the barrel, I'm going to go ahead and do the bullet velocity one, the 16.2 GRU compensate. And now this one's going to increase our bullet velocity, as well as the cons here are going to be the aim walking movement speed. So you really can choose between this one and the Contour M2 is going to give you the increased effective damage range. So the cons there being the sprinting movement speed. So really, do you want increased damage at range, or do you want effective bullet velocity at range? So we'll go ahead and select that. Next up, we're going to go for the optics. So for this one, I'm just going to run a Cobra red dot. That's going to give you the 1.75 zoom magnification there. So we'll go ahead and select the Cobra. Since it is a Russian weapon, we'll put the Russian Cobra optic on there. We're going to skip out on the laser as well as the stock and the grip. For the ammunition, we're going to go ahead and want that VDV 60 round fast mag on this weapon. So this is going to give you the magazine ammo capacity bumped up from, I believe, 30 all the way up to 60. The reload quickness, max starting ammo, and the ammo capacity, which those last two, the max starting ammo and ammo capacity, are not really applicable to Warzone. And the cons here, ADS speed, since we do have a 60 round magazine of the 7.62 by 39 millimeters. So we'll go ahead and select the 60 round fast mag. And then for the underbarrel attachment, we're going to go ahead and run the Spetsnaz speed grip. That's going to give us the vertical recoil control and the horizontal recoil control. The cons here, the shooting movement speed. So we'll go ahead and select that. This is a really good close quarters weapon here. The Groza, actually, the time to kill on this is one of the better ones in the game. It's definitely top 10 weapons. And I believe JGod posted something about it. The Groza comes in at number 4, I believe, with about 477 milliseconds of TTK. At close range here for the Groza 1, firing 7.62 by 39 millimeters. This is definitely be something that competes faster TTK than the MAC-10. The MAC-10 has a 538 millisecond TTK, so the Groza is actually faster TTK than the MAC-10. Really, that's going to be up to you how you want to build this. If you really want to build it for closer range engagements, go ahead and put on a different type of barrel here and really build it for mobility for really, really close engagements. But this one's built mainly towards medium range engagements. Next up, we're going to cover the M249 SAW. So the Bruen finally probably going to make a little bit of a comeback here. Not quite the old meta that it was. Obviously, they nerfed it way back in Season 5, I believe. But if we look at the monolithic suppressor, again, it's going to work the same as we just reviewed with the agency suppressors. We're going to stay off the minimap, the sound suppression, and the damage at range. The cons are the aim down sight speed and the aim walking steadiness. The barrel, you can really build a Mark 46 with a 23-inch horizon, or go with a longer barrel, the 26.8. That's going to give you the damage at range, bullet velocity, and the recoil control. You can see you're going to miss out the recoil control with the horizon barrel there as well, but your mobility will be better. So it's really going to be a pick and choose there. But the cons here for the longer barrel with the Summit are going to be the ADS speed and the movement speed. So we can go ahead and select that. Now, laser, you're going to want, because of the nerfs on this, the ADS speed is very slow now, and there's a little bit of stability issues when you do fire at longer ranges with this. But we'll go ahead and put on the tack laser. It's going to help us out with the aim down sight speed, aim stability, and the aim walking steadiness. The cons, laser is going to be visible when you are ADSing, so just be careful about that. Optic, personal preference, I like to run a integral hybrid of the Leopold Hammer. You can also go ahead and run a 4x flip on this. However, I think the Leopold Hammer is just a really good all-around sight. I prefer this one over the 4x flip for most of my weapons. You're going to be able to toggle from a 3.25 to a 1x red dot sight there on the top mounted on the hammer sight. The only con here is the ADS speed is you're going to get with all optics minus some of the the BLK. But we'll go ahead and put on the hammer. Skip out on the rest of the attachments. Our last slot, we're going to go with the Commando foregrip. It's going to help us out with the recoil stabilization and the aim and stability. The cons are going to be the aim, or excuse me, the movement speed. You could also go with a Ranger foregrip to help with the recoil control. However, it really has stability issues, so you're really going to want to try to minimize that best you can with the Commando foregrip. And this is our M249 SAW build here for Warzone. Really good build. Again, really good at medium to medium long range. Anything beyond, I'd say like 120 meters is going to be a little bit hard to hit, but in the medium ranges, it's gonna crush and kill. Very fast TTK on this. Still a very accurate weapon. However, it's not going to be the 500-meter beamer that it used to be in Season 5. So go ahead and back out, and now we'll go with the Fennec or the Vector. If we go ahead and strip this thing down to base, this is, again, one of our fastest TTK weapons in the game, coming in, I believe, still in the top 10, number 5 or 6. It has 498 milliseconds of TTK. So we're going to build this, again, for CQC engagements. We're going to want the barrel. We're going to want the ZLR 18-inch deadfall barrel. Now, if you guys follow the channel, obviously, Man Named Nobody, one of our VIP subscribers here on the channel, good friend, definitely was running this a lot the past couple weeks during the DMR MAC-10 meta and just crushing with this thing. So turn me back onto this and using this again. The pros with this deadfall barrel is going to be the damage at range, recoil control, bullet velocity, and the sound suppression. You'll also stay off the minimap, so you get a lot of pros for just a few trade-offs here. Really good attachment. The cons are going to be the ADS speed and the movement speed on this weapon. So go ahead and select the deadfall barrel. Laser, we're going to, again, want this for CQC engagement, so we'll go ahead and put on that 5 milliwatt laser. This is going to help us out with the hip-fire accuracy and the sprint-to-fire speed. The laser will be visible to enemies, though, if we're just idle. If we're sprinting or ADSing, it will go away. So keep that in mind. Optic, personal preference, I like to run the holographic sight. Then we'll go ahead and we'll put on the ammunition. We'll go ahead and do the 40-round magazine here. And then for the underbarrel, we'll do the Merc foregrip. That's going to give us the recoil control plus the hip-fire accuracy to go along with the 5 milliwatt laser. The cons, aim, walking, movement speed, and ADS speed. But again, we're really making up for that. Then with the 40-round magazine, obviously, you're increasing from 25 to 40-round magazines of the 45 ACP. So really, with the high rate of fire, I believe it's about 1,100 rounds per minute or 1,200 with this thing. Very fast rate of fire. So you're going to need that extra ammunition. This is our Vector build here. Definitely one of the good go-tos right now. I believe it's number 6, like I said, with a TTK at 496 milliseconds of TTK with a Vector. So we'll go ahead and back out, and we'll cover the Ash 12 here. So this is one of my favorite weapons. Finally was able to bring this thing back out on stream the other night. If we go ahead and strip this down, there's 2 different builds for this that you can really use, a few different combinations. I'll be covering this more so in depth in a Warzone video coming up, but we'll go ahead and run the mono suppressor again. Same pros and cons we just went over. I'm going to put on the 420 millimeter barrel. This is going to help us out with the aim down sight speed and the movement speed. So overall, our ergonomics are going to be better here with this barrel. Really build it for close range engagements inside 20 to 30 meters. Cons are going to be the bullet velocity and the recoil control, but again, you're trading that for the mobility. If you want to be in buildings and things like that, this is going to be your best bet. Put that on. We'll also run the 5 milliwatt laser, again, for hip fire and close quarters engagements. We're going to go ahead and run a holographic on this as well. And then the final attachment will go with the underbarrel. You need the Merc foregrip no matter what build you're doing with the Odin or the Ash 12 here. Because the recoil, it fires that heavy 50 caliber, the 12.7 by 55 millimeter rounds. So that this is going to assist with the recoil control and the hip fire accuracy. The cons are going to be the aim, walk, and movement speed, and the aim down sight speed. So we'll select that. This is the Ash 12. This thing is just an animal. It's not listed that I know of from what JGod said in the top 10 TTK, but I'm pretty sure this thing comes in under 500 milliseconds of TTK. It crushes. It kills very, very fast at close range. So I would give it a try again. Mobility is still going to be a little bit low because of the 12.7 by 55 millimeter round on this for a 50 caliber, but it's built for close quarters urban combat in real life, and that's what it is here in game. Very good, very fun to use as well. Now you can also swap out the barrel and go with the base barrel and throw on the 30 round magazine, give you a little bit more ammunition. However, keep in mind your mobility and things like that are going to suffer with this build. However, you will have more ammunition, a little bit extra range there to engage. Probably I'd say within 60 meters. I wouldn't go beyond that, but definitely if you tap fire you could. But full auto within 60 meters, this thing will still crush people at range, at those ranges. So this is our Ash 12. Go ahead and back out now. Sniper-wise, what's a good sniper build now that the DMRs are not two-hit beamer from 700 meters away and have no bullet drop-off or anything like that? So we can go with the L96. So if we go ahead and select the L96 or the LW3 as it's called here in game, we'll go ahead and strip this down. Now this is the closest competitive rifle with the HDR in game as far as sniper rifles. So for the Muzzle will go with the wrap suppressor. Again, same thing as the agency or the monolithic suppressor. The sound suppression is going to be the pro as well as the damage at range. The cons are going to be the aim down sight speed and the aim walking steadiness. So we'll select that. Barrel, we're going to want the combat recon to give us the best bullet velocity we can to compete very closely with the HDR with this. Cons are going to be the idle sway control on this. So we'll go ahead and select that. Skip on the laser. And for the optic, you could go with the base optic. However, I would recommend something that's really fun to use is going to be the Vulture. It's going to give you a 1 to a 10 times magnification, and I don't know if there's scope glint on this yet, but regardless, I prefer to be able to toggle my zoom levels. So I would recommend either the Vulture, or even if you want to go crazy, you can go with the Ultra Zoom custom with this PSO sight from a 2 to a 20 times. However, for this one, we'll go with the Vulture custom. I feel that's a good zoom level for this weapon. And then for the ammunition, we'll go with the 7-round speed mag. So you go from 5 rounds up to 7 rounds. And again, fast reload speed there. The only cons here are going to be the ADS speed with this. And for the underbarrel, we're going to, of course, run that bipod for the vertical and horizontal recoil control. The cons are going to be the sprinting movement speed. But since it is a sniper rifle, we're not really building it for something like a SPR or a Kar 98. We're really building it for old school bolt action sniping. So this is our L96. Again, probably the best sniper of the Cold War snipers right now. I really enjoy the M82, the Barrett. But again, this thing just has much better bullet velocity. The closest competitive rifle with the HDR, I'd say for sure. Then next up, we look at another close quarters beast here. You can build this a bunch of different ways, but the VSS Venturas or the AS Val, if we go ahead and look at this, this is still the fastest TTK weapon in the game right now. Of everything in the game, beats out the MAC-10 by a long shot. This is a 407 millisecond TTK, where the MAC-10 is 538. So this is #1 in the game. You can build this a bunch of different ways, but I really enjoy running it, and it's definitely very viable. Within, I'd say, about 40 to 50 meters. Run the 5 milliwatt for hip fire. We'll run for the optic. We can go ahead and put on a Russian APX-5 holographic. For the stock, you can run definitely the VLK Strelok or the VLK, basically the VSS stock here. So we'll go ahead and put that on. That's going to assist with the aiming stability and the aim walking movement speed. However, the best in slot's going to be the Strelok. But again, you're losing some mobility there. So I really prefer this. For the ranges we're going to be engaging, I feel like this stock is fine, or even the base stock if you wanted to put on the longer barrel. Skip out on the perk as well as the rear grip. The ammunition we're going to want for 9x39, it comes with a base of 20. So we're going to want that 30-round magazine, that SR3M magazine there. It's going to up our magazine capacity by 10 of the 9x39. And the only cons are going to be the aim down sight speed and the movement speed. We'll go ahead and put that on. And then for the underbarrel, we're again going to want the Merc foregrip. This is a close range weapon. I'd say, like I said, within 40 to 50 meters max, so we'll put on that Merc foregrip. And this is our VSS Venturas build out of the AS Val. Very, very effective. Like I said, the fastest TTK weapon in the game right now, 407 milliseconds. So it beats out the MAC-10 by far. However, you only have 30 rounds of 9x39, so you got to make sure you make those rounds count. So just to recap here, we covered the Groza 1 and 7.62x39. Covered the M249 SAW as well as the Vector. Covered the Ash 12 and the L96. And then we covered the VSS Ventura. So this is Technical Weapons. I believe this is part 7. And I'll link the others below. But again, these are the best weapons right now as of that I think are some of the best weapons that are also tactical and viable in Warzone. Now that the DMR meta and the Diamatti meta and all that stuff has kind of gone to the wayside, we can really start to experiment now with some of these weapons. And something like the Odin, the S12, just a lot of fun to take this out yesterday after the nerfs. Tons of fun to use and finally able to get high kill games while experimenting with other weapons. So let me know what you guys think down below of this list of weapons. This is Technical Weapons. I believe this is part 7. We've done quite a few so far, but this is the new, I believe, viable tactical weapons for halfway through Season 1 of Black Ops Cold War. Till next time, this is Buffnerd Gaming. Out.